Um, Greetings and welcome to the third PeaceX webinar on the topic Hunger and Harmony, Food Wastage and Resource Conflicts. I'm James, a member of the PeaceX organization, and I'll be moderating this webinar with our amazing guest. Thank you all for taking the time to join us, and I hope you are all doing well in these trying times. So PeaceX is an international organization that is striving to create a more sustainable, inclusive, responsible, and a peaceful world. We bring together a diverse group of leaders, innovators, and change makers to achieve these objectives and promote the sustainable development goals as set by the UN. Scientists, scholars, economists, entrepreneurs have all argued that the world has never been more advanced, progressive, better off at any point in time in history than it is today. Yet, one of our most basic needs is not sufficient. In fact, the UN estimates show that nearly 690 million people are hungry. We are not on track to achieve zero hunger by 2030, and if recent trends continue, the number of people affected by hunger would surpass 840 million by 2030. The World Food Programme noted that 135 million suffer from acute hunger, largely due to man-made conflicts over resources. Examples would be in Sudan, Nigeria, Congo, Venezuela, you name them. Climate change and economic downturns are also compounding the problem. Throw COVID-19 into the mix, and that number could double, putting an additional 130 million people at risk of suffering acute hunger by the end of 2020. Ironically, though, we waste a total of up to 1.3 billion tons of food per year, as estimated by the Food and Agricultural Organization. So let me give you a brief introduction of our guest speaker for today, Mr. Jichen Liu. He is the founder and CEO of ClearPlate, an app that rewards people for reducing food waste. Liu has long been concerned about food and environmental issues. He is also the director of Youth Vegetarian Development Fund, a charitable foundation project which aims to promote plant-based lifestyle and support youth veg advocates. Through his years of experience in the field of social innovation, he won the Champion of UNDP Youth Changemaker Challenge, Social Entrepreneurship Star of the Year 2019, and a gold medal in entrepreneurship competition at Tsinghua University. Launched in 2018, ClearPlate currently has more than 1 million users who have collectively taken 5 million times anti-food wasting actions, which is equivalent to reducing food waste by 280 tons and carbon emissions by 1,000 tons. ClearPlate has won the Chinese Food Science and Technology Progress Award and several other awards. So on behalf of PeaceX, it is my honor to welcome you to this webinar, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Liu. Welcome.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
But yeah, first things first. So for the smooth discussion, I would like to go over a few rules that we should all keep in mind throughout the duration of this live session. There is an attendance sheet for the webinar in the comment section. It's pinned to the top of the plate, at the top of the comment section. Please fill this out to confirm your presence. The form will be open until 45 minutes after the session. Please note that the e-certificates will be provided within 1 week to only those who fill this form. The form will be available only on this chat. E-certificates will not be provided if you fail to fill the attendance sheet. So please kindly check the promotional or spam or junk folder if the email has not been found in your primary or inbox. Please feel free to ask questions during the webinar through the live chat section. We'll try our best to take them up. Most importantly, we hope that you have an informative and engaging time with us today. So coming to the discussion. So Mr. Liu, can you give us a brief overview, right? Where you're from, what you studied, and when you began your this very interesting entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for the warm introduction, and it's a great honor to attend this webinar as well. So I want to make a short introduction about myself and ClearPlate. Actually, ClearPlate is an AI-based innovative tool to aims to reduce food waste. This product is only available in China right now, and we have more than 1 million users right now. We are using by offering spiritual and material rewards. We make ClearPlate and not wasting food, something that can benefit people. Yeah, so for me, I'm 23 years old now, and I am still in my college, and I just took my 2-year gap to do the entrepreneurship. So in 2018, I start this company, and for the 2 years, we have finished the R&D and the product promotion, and up to now, we have achieved some good results in China. So to become the UN Sustainable Development Goals leader is a great honor to me, but also it's also a great responsibility to me as well. As we all know, food waste is a huge problem in the world. 1/3 of world's food produced is wasted. I pay attention to this problem when I just entered the university. I heard the news that from maybe Europe, they have a very interesting activity. You know, some food looks ugly, and many people just threw it. So some people have just came up an idea that you shouldn't throw up this ugly food. Rather than you can take it at a party and we cook it at the party. And it seems very fashionable. And the idea just delighted me. And I have started a similar party in Tsinghua University, and it became a success. More than 100 students joined this activity. So this is my first journey about food waste. About 1 year after this event, one time when I go to a restaurant, it's very interesting. I found them, they have a card to record the times for you do not waste your food. For example, you do not waste any food when you eat in this restaurant, they will just point. So when you get 6 points, you can have a free tea or some gifts. And they didn't get a lot of gifts, but in this way, they inspired the customers to not to waste any food. So this idea just encouraged me, inspired me. You know, this card is too complex. People might just forget to take it. But if this is a mobile app, so everybody, everywhere, they can save food and get rewards. So the idea ClearPlate just came to me. I want to start this app. So very fortunately, I came to some successful entrepreneurs and got the angel fund for 3 million RMB to start this entrepreneurship journey. So this is my short story, and we can talk the detailed development process later. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. And for follow up, to add a little bit onto that, how did you come up with the name like ClearPlate? Is it just
actually
occurred to you, or it took you some time to come up?
You know, ClearPlate is just available in China right now. It has Chinese name called 光盘打卡. Everyone will know it's about when you do not waste any food, you get a record, and you can have some points or have some rewards like that. But you know, this is a translation for Chinese. But I think this English translation works as well because it means you clear your plate, you do not waste any food. So of course, many people will ask that if when you say clear plate, do you mean I should finish all the food? Even though I have been very, I have been very, yeah. So, but clear plate is not a way, not just to tell you that you finish all the food on your plate, but do not waste any food. When you order, you should consider not wasting any food, so you can clear plate and take a photo and get a gift. So this is a explanation.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. So at this point, we'll take a few minutes to watch the video that you wanted to share with the rest of us and the participants.
No voice. Sorry, I can't hear anything. Maybe the video is muted.
Yeah, maybe they're having some technical issues. Some audio, please.
Causes significant greenhouse gas emissions, soil pollution, and other environmental problems. But at the same time, nearly 900 million people don't have enough food to eat. Every 6 seconds, a child dies of hunger. The fight against food waste is a battle that needs to be fought right away. Fear not, a smart AI application, ClearPlate, is here to end the harm of food waste. After you finish your meal, just take a picture of your plate through the ClearPlate app. Then receive rewards and bonuses for reducing food waste. Also, the food you save can be turned into charity meals for people in need. Making an impact is easy and fun with ClearPlate. Millions of people have joined. We're waiting for you, so come with us and let's save food together. ClearPlate for a zero food waste world.
Wow, that's
Thank you.
that's quite impressive, right? And but since we're talking about food wastage and we're talking about hunger, especially when it comes to food wastage, so you are the CEO and founder of ClearPlate. What is it all about exactly? How does it work exactly? Right?
Yeah, this
Yes,
app is,
go ahead.
so when you finish your meal, you can take a picture with this app and our AI will identify whether you waste any food or not. So if you do not waste any food, you can get some credit. These credits can be used to exchange gifts or make donations to charity meals, which means for every 5,000 credits you donate, some companies will donate 1 RMB to this charity project. This is quite popular in China. Here we can donate our foodstuffs. So this idea also inspires me. You can donate your foodstuff. Why not donate our ClearPlate times? And by saving food, you can help people in need. You can have those in need. The food you saved can be turned into charity meals for those hungry people.
But,
so this is
a
a balance.
Right. But how do you know that the person did not waste the food? I mean, all they have to do is take a picture of the empty plate, right?
Yes, this is very interesting about cheating. Yeah, lots of
Yes.
people might ask, can we cheat?
Yes.
Yes, when you take a picture of, which means you do not eat anything. This is just an empty plate. You just take a picture of this. Yes,
Yes.
it can happen. And technically speaking, maybe we can't find a perfect solution to solve this problem because there always can be some way to cheat.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you know, our mission and our vision is to inspire and empower everyone to take actions against food waste. We want to raise awareness. We do not want to be a policeman about food waste.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
yes, every time you do not waste any food, then get rewards on our app. This is just so simple. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree with you. You cannot get to force people to do anything, right? You gotta
Yes.
just
Yes. Definitely.
make them aware and let them make their own decisions, right? Yeah, you've told us a little bit of what inspired you to come up with this idea, but how long did it take you from the concept to the actual delivering the actual product, right? Making it work?
Yes. I came up this idea in maybe September in 2017, and in 2018, at the early time in 2018, we got the angel investment. So we began to get our team to get some technical support to build up our team. The first thing we need to do is to build this AI, to make this clear plate AI into real, because you know AI recognition is
Yes.
very intensive nowadays. But this is about techniques. Some AI can identify your face, but actually, if you want to tell whether this is a plate clear or not, we need to collect lots of samples to do the machine learning. So we spent half a year to travel around China, maybe more than 10 cities to collect all these samples, all kinds of dishes with free meals or maybe a little spelled, all kinds of sceneries
Yes.
to collect all
Yes.
these samples to do the machine learning. So it's quite a long time for us, and we on the one hand we are collecting all this data, and on the other hand we are doing the machine learning to try to improve the accuracy. So in October, the World Food Day, Clear Plate is launched in Tsinghua University.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Right. What do you have a background in programming or machine learning?
For me, no. My major
Oh,
is
great.
construction management.
Yeah, exactly. Because I wanted to ask that because some people might be wondering. They'll be like, okay, maybe he's a tech guy. That is why. So yeah, great. Good to know that you don't necessarily have to have a background in machine learning to actually come up with such a wonderful idea.
Yes.
So there's a growing concern that the zero hunger goal, especially for 2030 zero hunger goal, may not be met. And so keeping this in mind, right, the ethos of the UN, what efforts are you putting in to make sure that we achieve this zero hunger goal?
Pardon?
I mean, there's a growing concern that because there's a target that by 2030 we should we should meet the zero hunger goal, right? But
Yes.
with the way that things are going, there's a fear that we might not meet this target, right? What more efforts can you do or we do to
Yes.
make sure that we achieve this zero hunger goal in 2030?
Yes. I think in 2020 nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
zero hunger is quite a challenge because of the COVID-19 crisis. The food chain in the world is broken, get hurt. More people get hungry. because all of these issues. So this is a very complex topic. For us, we put our concentration on food waste, but actually, our main concentration is about SDG 12.3. The goal is to reduce food waste by 50% by 2030. So this idea and this plan has lots of relevant SDG points. I have sent you the PPT files. Maybe you can see just like a paragraph, a tree, some relevant fields will be shown on this picture. But for zero hunger, yes, we are making our efforts on this. For example, you clear your plate and those hungry people will get charity meals. Right now, we have donated nearly 500,000 RMB to support this charity project. But for us, the most important thing is not how much we donated, but how many people have joined, and thus they create their awareness about food waste and zero hunger.
Yeah, what wonderful. I mean, that's great, right? The more people you reach, the more food you save, and save the planet while you're at it. Right? So the COVID-19 pandemic, as we are in it now, threatens to reverse a lot of the progress that has been made almost in almost every area of human endeavor, right? So how has it affected your work, right? Are there any measures that you guys are taking to make sure that COVID-19 does not actually hinder your work?
Yes, as we talk about COVID-19, you know, actually this year, maybe many people had a very tough year, and for us as well. But you know, the COVID-19 has created the food unsafety in the world, you know. So in this World Earth Day, you know, in April 22nd, we had an online campaign called Restart 2020 by clearing your plate. This is a Chinese. This is a campaign in Chinese character. Maybe if we deliver this message in English, maybe something will get lost. But it doesn't matter. This campaign is a huge success. This is online, but in just 1 week, about 500,000 college students joined this, and many colleges just followed to spread it online through Chinese social media, Weibo or WeChat. This is about awareness and very easy to join. In the campaign, you just need to use clear plate to take a picture of the plate. That means you didn't waste any food, and then you will get a poster card designed by Chinese Environmental Protection Foundation, right? This is a quite famous foundation in China. So people will just want to get this card, and just like a poster card, but this is online. So this motivates people to join. Very easy to do, but also very easy to spread on the internet. So though the first half year of 2020 is quite hard for us, but we have doubled our users in the pandemic. Besides, we have launched a COVID-19 map on ClearPlate in February and March. At that time, people just concerned about these issues. So we, in ClearPlate, there is a link. Everybody can see the situations in China and abroad.
Oh, great. I mean, it's good to hear that you guys are at least your users have doubled in this period, because everyone else is hit very hard by this COVID-19. Do you have any plans on expanding, like scaling up beyond China?
Yes, but actually not this year, because we need to do a lot of preparation, and we need to maybe first launch in Singapore, because Singapore and China has the very similar in industries, cultures, and language as well. But actually, we have a plan to expand this product overseas, but maybe not in the way that we implement this app by ourselves. Maybe we will choose some partners. We provide our technical support to them so they can run the clear plate of their edition in their country, their own edition. So this is a way to support others. You know, we are in collaborations with WFP, World Food Program, and we, together with WFP China, we have had a proposal about to expand in 80 office of WFP around the world. So this is the next step, but currently our main focus is in China, because China has so many people. 1 million is just so small. Our goal is 100 million before 2023.
Yeah, that's impressive. We're looking forward. You're looking forward to having you in different parts of the world. Right? So we will now open the floor for our participants to send in their questions. So please write your questions in the chat box. We'll be asking the questions you'll all send through your form. Due to the time sensitivity, we may not be able to pick up all the questions, but we'll try our best to pick up as many as possible. So there is a power in the youth, right? And they can be drivers of change, as you have shown here, right? So what are some of the things that you think the youth can do to push the drive towards, zero hunger?
Thanks for this question. I have someone's quote. He's also one of the UN SDG leader, and his quote just inspired me. I want to share with all of us here. He said that engagement is the key for success, for change, for social innovation. I think for all the youth, engagement is very easy, but this is very important. This is the first step that we put our efforts to work to achieve the global goals. But I think as for the goal called zero hunger, because this goal maybe is much more complex than any other goals, because this is not just about economic, even about politics. You know, actually the world produce enough food to feed everyone, but some people just get so fat, but some people just get hungry, no food to eat. This is a fear of social justice. So for young people, we need to concentrate on this problem. And SDG 2 is something that is a very good focus. You can learn, you can to build your perspective towards the SDGs and the world. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, engagement is the key, right? Yeah, I guess some of us will take that and put it into practice. Thank you for that. Right? So ClearPlate is not only committed to just SDG 2, right, about hunger, right, but also SDG 13, climate action. So a lot of countries have started feeling the effects of climate change. As we've been seeing increasing droughts, famine in some parts of Zimbabwe, Afghanistan, Chad, even South Africa. At some point, we're having issues with water shortage. Water was being rationed, right? The MENA region is also facing water challenges. So what are some of the climate actions you're taking or intend to take to drive the agenda to at least control climate change?
Thanks for this question. When we talk about climate change, maybe many people will think of these words called carbon trading or carbon neutral, something like this. But this is about maybe too technical for most ordinary people. But in China, I paid great attention on carbon trading as well. You know, the carbon you saved, maybe not you saved. In here, you means the big enterprise, something like the big factories. The carbon they saved is the real asset for them because it can be exchanged on the global carbon market. This is starting in China as well, and I think this is something that really works for the world because this is relevant to the economy, and because of carbon trading, these companies will make contributions to their techniques to improve, to save the carbon, because it means save money. So for carbon trading is very important. The reason why I mention carbon trading because there is a form of carbon trading called VER, called voluntary emissions. Yeah, so this can be exchanged on global carbon market, but not in China right now. We are working on it, try to make the carbon you reduce by do not waste any food to become a real asset for you. If we achieve this goal, maybe this is a quite big step for us, not just in China, but globally, because carbon trading, many people just don't know that because this is a form for big companies, for big factories. But if everyone can join, everyone can get carbon credits from their own behavior, this will be a great innovation and a great of some, I don't know how to describe this, but you know, when you have some profit for doing something.
Yeah, exactly. There should be the
ambition to do it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the incentive. If you want sometimes to get people to do something, you gotta give them something in return. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the issue of climate change is a pretty intense. There's a lot of debate around it and politics and all whatnot. And so, but one of the major causes of hunger and starvation is conflict, right? As we see in many resource-rich countries, especially in the global south, right, and some parts of Asia. So how can we ensure food security in these places?
Wow, this is a very dramatic question, a very big question. So food security, this is a very big topic. As I just mentioned, this is a quite big problem. For us, even food waste is a very big problem. You see, food waste, the chain, producing food, transportation, consumption, and after the consumption side, it's very complex. And clear play is just one way for the consumption side, but together we need lots of solutions to achieve not waste any food, but to achieve SDG zero hunger. We need lots of people to generate their efforts to work together. Only by this can we achieve the final good results.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So, but many these resource-rich countries have failed terribly, right, to fully benefit from their natural resources, or even to respond effectively to some of their public welfare needs. Right? Do you have any advice or thoughts on how we can at least mobilize some of these resources to actually ensure the food security that we're talking about? Because some countries have resources, but somehow they cannot even feed themselves. Right? So what is the problem? How can we mobilize some of those resources to actually,
Yes.
to realize food security?
Yes. I think connection is also very important. For clear plates, we are doing this connection as well. For example, you clear your plate, you do not waste any food, then those people will get food. This is a kind of connection, but this is far from enough. We need to build more these kinds of connections to make, for example, the rich countries, they can connect with the countries or the people in need. But not just the relationship between the rich country and the poor country or developing countries. We also have South-South cooperation. For example, China is a developing country, but for us, our project can support the children in Ethiopia. This works. Maybe we do not donate so many free meals, but this is a way of collaboration, a bond. The bond is very important.
Yes, indeed. Following up on that, right? So we have made a lot of progress when it comes to science and technology. I mean, in fact, some would claim that we have advanced so much that it's possible with the help of science and technology to actually feed everyone on the planet. No one needs to go hungry. But this might be a little political. Why are we not able to achieve zero hunger as projected in 2030? Right? Because according, science can help us actually realize this goal. But why is it not happening?
Wow. Yes, this question is maybe I can talk about something not just direct relevant to it, but I think it might be, inspire some people.
Yes.
I want to talk about the meat consumption. This is something relevant to food safety in the world, because to produce 1 kilogram of, for example, beef, you maybe need 20 kilogram of the plants, but same 1 kilogram beef and plants, they can feed the same people at the same time. So hunger has different forms. Some called on the bottom, but something is under the water. You can't say it, but it truly happens. Someone is gets much more food than they need, but some people just can't get enough food. Another technology is about plant-based meat. This is very how to say it? In China nowadays, people have paid great concentration on this as well, because the Beyond Meat IPO is a huge success, commercial success. This inspired many companies, investors to put concentration on this field. And maybe in just 2019 and 2020, more than 10 companies funded and got several millions or maybe tens of millions of investment about plant-based meat. I think this is something that this experience is very, very inspiring to us, because when we can see you can have some profit, you can see how much progress it can make, not just for institutions, individuals as well. So for their hunger. Yes.
Indeed. You're right. I mean, the way the world is, everything is done for profit, right? So once there is profit, there is motive. People would want to do it. So what would be your message for for the young sustainable development enthusiasts, those who are interested in the sustainable development goals? What would be your message for those young people?
First, we really want to start a trend among young people to cherish food and to start a low carbon lifestyle. Maybe for youth, we can't do something just relevant to industry, but again, engagement is the key. Through our engagement, the world is becoming better.
Thank you. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, once you engage and consult, then we will be able to solve a lot of things. I guess most of the problems we are having now, we would not even have them if there was a lot of engagement and consultation. Yeah. So there are some questions from the participants, and this is by Subata Trevi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Many say that food is not scarce and that it's available in unequal quantities among people. This means that even though the world has ample production of food, extant inequities mean that these are not distributed among all. What are your opinions on this? I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but this person wants more clarity on it.
Maybe can you type it in the Zoom so I can?
Yeah, let me summarize it. The idea, what he's trying to say is there is a lot of food, but the problem is the inequality. It's in the distribution of the food. So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah. Again, we are talking about the distribution, but distribution is much more complex. For example, you talk about food security. In China, the government put great attention on food safety. Especially for the something like rice, something like I don't know how to describe the English word, but you know, we do not import some
sort of like grains, right?
Yes. Some types of food in China, the government is trying to not to depend on the import. They want to just depend on ourselves. This is about food safety, because when we talk about distribution, some sad stories has truly happened. The stories of the big investors came into the country and to something like robbery, they just to speak the price of the food companies and to buy it and to shift the food price. So many sad stories around the world. This is about distribution.
Yes.
But maybe I can describe it quite specifically, because this has so much professional explorations. But yes, distribution is very complex.
Yeah, I mean that is correct, especially some other countries that are totally dependent on importation of some of their staple foods. And sometimes some people are into hoarding, buying all the stock and just keeping it and overpricing it or something. There's a second question by Raja. What are your thoughts on malnutrition among children?
Yes. Actually, for children, especially in China, the younger generation, they do not have a memory of thrift. They do not know why should we cherish the food, because since they are born, everything is sufficient to them. That they maybe waste more than the older generation. So for children, this is quite important, especially for the country, maybe something like in Europe or America, something like this. They just get sufficient materials. So maybe they lack a sense of cherishing, not just food, but other natural resources. So clear plate, by saving food, not just tell you that you eat everything on your plate, but we want to tell that we should cherish all the natural resources, to cherish the world, to cherish nature.
Right.
Yes.
Noted. I mean, following up on that, I wanted to add a little bit. Do you have a specific focus group, like a priority group, like those you aim to feed? Is it the children, the adults, or just everyone in general?
Yes. You know, in ClearPlate right now, we have 4 charity projects online. One is for children in Ethiopia, and this is in general. We do not just, for example, some specific college or specific primary school. No, but in China, the children in mountainous areas, maybe they need some nutrition help. We will have some specific goals. For example, in next month, we are holding another social campaign. This campaign is about we gather our efforts to support one primary school to give the nutrition support to them.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yes, finish.
There is another question by Manisha Kunwa. What would be some problems related to food security that you think would arise after this pandemic? What problems do you think would arise when it comes to food security after the pandemic?
After the pandemic, you know, the word after the pandemic, this is something that's something like, yeah, we don't know when is the end of the pandemic. It depends on the drugs and something like that.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see, right?
When the pandemic rises, everything has changed. Not just about food safety, everything in the world has changed. So I can't tell or make the predictions about what will happen after the pandemic, but I think the only one truly thing that will happen is about digitalization. Everything will become more digital, from offline to online. So for food safety, in the future, more solutions will be implemented online.
Yeah, but in addition to that, do you think because the pandemic has changed quite a number of things, right? Because a lot of supply chains were disrupted and interrupted, right? For example, Qatar was one of those countries that depended a lot on importation of food products and all. Do you think the pandemic would, push countries and some regions to actually strive for food self-sufficiency and security?
Yeah, I think from the news, this has truly happened. So in this moment, some organizations like WFP, World Food Program, or other UN institutions, or any other this kind of institutions, they have played a very important role on this occasion, because on this occasion, they do not know where to seek for help, but these organizations, they offer a hand to those in need.
Yes, so, indeed.
About the 17th SDG, the goals, the relationships to achieve the SDG is also very important.
Indeed. I agree. There is another question here from Aditi Koirala. What is the best we can do to change people's thoughts about food wastage? And I'm sure you've touched on it in your discussion, but yeah, that is one of the questions.
Yes, to stop the food waste, this is so in summary, raising awareness is the thing for most of all, but awareness has many different aspects. For example, you order less, you clear your plate, or maybe after you finish your meal, the food maybe can be turned into fertilizer, something like this. But in general, we need a solution that's just very easy for everyone, not just so complex. Because if it goes complex, people will just ignore and won't participate. So in China, we are just delivering one clear and simple message. It means clear your plate, just clear your plate.
Yes.
And I think this is a chain about food waste. When you have this kind of awareness, very simple, but once this idea is stuck into your mind, then for other scenarios, you will have this kind of thought as well.
Yeah, agreed. So the main idea here is to raise awareness, because the more people know, the more enlightened they become, the better choices they make. So another question is, this is by Neha Singh. How can an average citizen work towards the mitigation of starvation? Which is, I think it's similar to the question, the previous question.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, I can. There are more questions from the participant. Someone is asking, do you think legal measures are enough to bring about a wasteless society?
Can you pardon?
No, if someone is asking, do you think whether legal measures like laws and all are enough to stop people from wasting?
Yes. Yes. I think the answer is no, because law is not enough, and policy is not enough. But of course, laws, policies are very important. But that is not how to say. It can't solve everything. If law and policies can solve everything, then why do we need SDG? Because everything is so easy. Because everything is so complex. For example, someone maybe they will say that if you waste your food, you will get loans, something like that. But firstly, if you want to implement a law, there is a cost. If the cost is much more than what the law achieves, then it's not sustainable. For example, who will just be the policeman of food waste? What about the price? Yeah. So just an example.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
In China, in August, the president Xi just he pays great attention on food waste. In 2013, when he just came the president of China, he just made the word clear plate. In Chinese called 光盘行动, so popular around China. And for the 8 years, for the first edition of Not Wasting Food campaign in China, it has achieved great results, especially for the government unit. Because before, maybe the scenery is quite harmful. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
For the 8 years, it has achieved great significant results, but that is not enough because for most people, still the campaign is a slogan or poster. We do not need how to participate in it. Maybe many people will just ignore. For example, when you go into a restaurant in China, every restaurant in China, you can see the poster called "Do not waste any food," etc., etc., just like this, different characters. But you know, poster slogans is not enough.
Indeed,
we need some way that is proactive and people can make engagement. So this is why we development clear plate. So for the question, the law is not enough, but if there is law and policy, and there are all kinds of social enterprises and charity projects or all the institutions to work together on this, then it will work.
Great. Yeah. So the law on its own is not enough. The policies are not enough. It has to work with, engagement and raising awareness and enterprises, all of them coming together. Yeah. I mean, it's like one thinker said that the law doesn't make anyone just, right? Because otherwise, if laws were enough, we wouldn't have crime, right? People always find a way around them. There's another question from Aziz Yehu. Is hunger a sort of combination with poverty? I mean, is hunger combined with poverty?
Yes. The SDG goal #1 is about poverty, and #2 is zero hunger. I think these two is very much challenge to the world.
Yeah. So the person wanted to know, is there
#2? Yeah.
Yeah, the person wanted to know if there is a connection. So does it mean that, okay, if you're hungry you are poor, if you're poor you'll be hungry? Which one is it? That is what he wants to know. Like, is there a connection of some sort, right? Do they go together?
Yes. Let me see. Actually, I just came up another idea, because it doesn't mean that if you are not poor, then you are not hungry, because hunger has different forms. Many people do. For example, those people who only eat steaks every time.
Yes.
Do you think they get enough enough food for their needs? No,
they don't have a balanced diet. Yeah.
Not all this, etc. So, yes, in some way, hunger and poverty, they comes together. And to improve poverty, we need education. If we need education, we need enough care for the children. They can't be hungry. If they're hungry, the education will not work.
Yes.
So this is the combination, the line. SDG. Some people, again, when we are announced as UN SDG leaders, someone will ask, who is for #2? Who is for #1? But the answer is no, because actually almost every SDG goal is relevant to another. Yes.
Indeed. Excellent. Thank you very much. There's another question, a few more, because we are running out of time. How can international institutions collaborate to solve the issue of hunger? That is the question.
This is a mission for us as well. We want clear plate, not just in China. In China, for example, in China right now, ordinary people, they sell food, and those in need will get food, get charity meals. But this doesn't work in other countries. This model needs someone to run in their own country. For example, to find those companies who would like to donate money for the charity project to support this kinds of anti-food waste actions. So for us, this is not important. And for the institutions, I would like to make a suggestion or make an overview or a vision, for, a mission for us. We want this model can support more organizations in other countries. Yes.
Great. And there's another one. Which country is ideal in terms of waste disposal mechanisms? That is, if you want to compare in terms of waste disposal mechanisms, in your opinion, like which countries do you think are better at waste disposal or management, if you like?
Maybe Switzerland or Swiss in most European countries. You know, this country actually many people has the sense of protecting the environment, and to be more specific, they will have some fertilizer bins, which means if you finish your food and if you have something rest, you can just make it into fertilizer. This seems quite popular in some countries. I think this is quite useful, but yes, this won't work in every country because for these countries, maybe they have a yard, but not every country. But this is kind of awareness, because when you have the awareness to make your food, your leftover food to fertilizer, then for other environment protection behaviors, you will have as well.
Exactly. Another one here is how pervasive is the problem of hunger in China? Do you have any hunger issues, problems? I mean, how pervasive is it? That is the question.
Yes. Food waste is a global problem, and in China, because we have so much population, and for the catering industry alone, the food wastage can feed about 1,700 million people. No. Sorry. Something wrong because I misspelled the number.
It's okay.
100 million. Yes, maybe about 200 million for the.
Wow.
This is a summary. Not just for the catering industry, but for all the food wasted can feed 200 million people.
Wow. So can biotechnology play a leading role in resolving the issues of hidden hunger?
Biotechnology is, of course, very important. As we have talked, the plant-based meat, something like this. This can be very useful, but you know, this is not the key for everything. We need lots of different sectors, different ways to work together.
Yes. I mean, you need collaborations from different sectors, and
it's like the fundamental. But if we have that fundamental, if people do not have the awareness they need, then still the thing.
Exactly. Awareness is key, right? So one final question would be, in your opinion, do the SDGs hold similar ground in all countries, taking into account their economic and social differences? So do you think the awareness is enough when it comes to that?
Awareness is definitely not enough, because awareness is the first step for the individuals to participate. But that is not the purpose. what truly make happen also lies in industries. We need to influence those industry leaders or the industries. They can make a greater impact. But again, you want these big companies to make change. Why? They need to see that the customers is changing. That is why engagement is very important.
Indeed, indeed. It's the first step among many. So do you have any final thoughts, remarks, inputs that you would like to share with the audience?
Thank you. Thank you for my poor. I'm sorry for my poor English.
No, your English is wonderful. It's perfect. It's crystal clear. So, yeah.
Thanks.
No problem at
all. Mostly, I'm doing all the work in China, so such kind of communication is not quite fluent for me. But I want to express more ideas, but maybe on the social medias or something like this, you can just search on our website www.clearplate.com. You can just follow us to see our latest progress.
Yes, I went through your website. It was quite impressive, and the number of awards were just amazing. I mean, you should keep up the good work. So, Mr. Liu, as we come to the conclusion of this webinar, you already offered some closing remarks. So, accept our heartfelt gratitude for gracing this occasion and inspiring other young people to make a difference in their communities. You've achieved some remarkable feats in your journey to save a better world. So finally, we'd like to extend our sincere thanks to all our participants. We couldn't have done it without everyone's participation, and we hope it was an informative and inspiring webinar. So right now, we would like to request all the PeaceX members to turn on their cameras so we can have a group photo. And also remember to follow and check out our social media handles to get the latest information about our events. So we'll thank everyone once again for making this webinar happen. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Liu. So we turn on your camera so we can have a group photo. Great.
Done.
Done. It was good to have you here.
Thank you.
It's really